Yeah, let's go. We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Yeah. Oh yeah, the beast back. Adrenaline pumping through my veins, can't relax. Original, I am not the same as these cats. I sting them if they never ever mindin' they beeswax. I don't ever cap, but I'm wearing like 3 hats. Never been a rat, but I know where the cheese at. You'll never get a trophy cause they all here where we at. You better believe that. When it's all said and done, I'll still be here standing. Never took a loss and it ain't something that I'm planning. I dare you to say something, my focus is A1. Every dog has its day, it's been mine since day one. This is real grinding, I'm still climbing. While you still trying, I'm still shining. It's real blinding, and I'm getting hotter too. Talking top 2, I'm not a 2. You let the pressure bother you and I do what I gotta do. Let's go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard.
They ain't coming close to me. Flow is on atomic, I'm starting fires through poetry. The hardest out, staying loyal, no falling out. And if you step into the court, be ready, we ballin' out. Yeah, the coldest of teens, they know what we bring, don't try us. They know in between, we go for these dreams in silence. Hard work, don't mistake it for magic. We been shooting in the gym, this is target and practice. Yeah. And I'm just getting started, getting feet wet. It's all in repetition, ain't a secret. All facts, all black dress code. Pay me my respect, collecting every debt.
I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard.
Hello, you guys.
Yeah. Let's go.
Friday.
We just gotta go hard. I go the hardest. I bring the pain. Not what you used to. It's all part of the game. Yeah, I just gotta go hard. I just gotta go hard. Go hard. Go hard.
You guys
Yeah.
hear me?
Oh yeah, the beast back. Adrenaline pumping through my veins, can't relax. Original, I am not the same as these cats. I sting them if they never ever mindin' they beeswax. I don't ever cap, but I'm wearing like 3 hats. Never been a rat, but I know where the cheese at. You'll never get a trophy cause they all here where we at. You better believe that. When it's all said and done, I'll still be here standing. Never took a loss and it ain't something that I'm planning. I dare you to say something, my focus is A1. Every dog has its day, it's been mine since day one. This is real grinding, I'm still climbing. While you still trying, I'm still shining. It's real blinding, and I'm getting hotter.
Can you guys hear me? All right. Welcome. Happy Friday. Are we good? Or did I break something? Happy Friday, you guys. Today is officially July the 10th. All right, you guys can hear me. Well, welcome. I feel like I've been gone for a very long time. That's what it seems like. So, I am back with another live sewing session. Let me turn on these lights. Oh my goodness. The whole gang is here today. Like any other Friday, right? So it's Friday Night Live, right? Don't start with me today. So just to recap from part 1, we did, or I should say I did. How many steps did I do last time? I did step 1 through step 7 because I thought I did not cut out my interfacing for my under collar, which was pattern piece number 9, but I did. It was hiding. So I did press those interfacing pieces onto my under collar, and I'm going to put them onto the jacket or coat, whatever you want to call it, blazer. And then we're going to get started with the sleeves. So I'm going to do those things first, and then get started with the sleeves. And this may be a short live because the sleeves are not as hard as they look in the instructions. That's why I call myself the instruction decoder, okay? And your pattern enabler. All right, and if you are new, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, tech support. No, they just said hello to you. Dang. Dang, tech support. Already talking about what do you want? I didn't want nothing. I was just saying that the crew said hello to you. And no, you did not fix SHIT, sugar honey iced tea today. I put this together myself. No. We talking about the live. We not talking about things in the house. We talking about this live. I put everything together myself today. No. We're talking about the equipment. We put this together myself today. Anyway, back to the live. That's what we're here. We're here to, so we're not here to listen to tech support, give his 2 cents today. We're just going to go ahead and get to sewing the blazer today. That's what you guys are here for today. So we're going to get started. Okay, tech support, we already heard. We're not giving help desk tickets today. Ever. We know it's, that's why I said we're not giving help desk tickets because it's way below your pay grade. All right, so we're going to put on the under collar first. Let me grab the jacket. And then the only 2 pattern pieces that I'm going to need today are pattern piece 11 and pattern piece number 12, which would be the upper and under sleeve. All right, so first pattern piece number 9, the under collar, pattern piece 11, and pattern piece number 12. So we're gonna go over to the table. I'm gonna grab the jacket and we're going to get started. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right, top down view. All right, so let me grab the jacket to remind you what we did last time we worked on this coat. Let me pull it off the dress form for a second. And I'm going to be giving you guys some tips as well. That's why I have the scissors, the rotary cutter, the white pencil, the disappearing water soluble pencil, the what is this thing called? I forgot what it's called. The tracing wheel, that's what it is. And then some fabric scissors. All right, and this, of course, you're going to need your pins. All right, so those are the things that I have on the table today. Your pattern, pattern instructions, and then pattern piece 9, 11, and 12. And then as you can see, I have one of my sleeves already done. That's just to cut down time. All right. So I did that earlier, probably like literally, I want to say probably 30 minutes before the live. I went ahead and did one sleeve. All right. All right. So just to take out the instructions to get this going, the first thing I'm going to have to do, pulling out the instructions again. All right. The last thing I did, I stitched the center back seams, stitched the front to the back at the shoulder seam. So that was the last thing I did. So I'm going to turn it like you see it in the instructions. If you are following along with me, you can pull up the instructions on simplicity.com. If you want to pull them up, I'll drop the link in the chat real quick. If you want to pull up the instructions with me, let me drop the link in the chat for you. Give me 1 second to drop that link in the chat. All right, the link to the instructions is in the chat. If you want to follow along with the instructions, you can do so as well. All right, so the link to the instructions are in the chat, and I am on step number, what step number is this? Step number 8. All right, so I already applied my interfacing to my under collar. I'm going to move the jacket out of the way for a quick second, not too far. I'm going to grab pattern piece number 9, which is my under collar. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is stitch the center back seam of my under collar with right sides together, pin the front edge of the under collar to the jacket. All right. So now I need to make sure that I have my dots. See, I can't see my dots because it's been a little while. So I'm going to grab my pen. I'm going to make sure, and I cannot see my notches either. So that's why I have my scissors on the table, so I'm able to see these things. And then there's a notch right here. Then there's one here. Now I'm going to take my pattern piece and then mark out the dots so I'm able to see. For reference, I cut a size 18, so I'm going to make sure that I transfer the dots of pattern piece number 18. And I'm going to do that to the other pattern piece as well. Oops, I missed one dot. I'll go back and get that one. And anytime you have taken so long to sew something and you no longer could see your dots, you could always do the same thing that I'm doing. Now I forgot one dot here, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that dot, which is this one right here. All right, so now all my dots are marked. All right, so now I'm going to grab my jacket and I'm going to attach the upper collar to the front. That's these two pieces right here. These two dots right here are your front. All right. So that's what I'm going to be attaching. So I'm going to turn it. All right. So now in the instructions, the first thing you need to do is attach the front pieces, this edge right here. It doesn't say tell you to do it, but with right sides together, you're going to pin the front edge of the upper collar to the jacket is what it wants you to do. But you need to stitch the center back seam of the under collar together first. Now, it probably said that to do that, and I probably missed doing that, but let's read the instructions right after I cut this. All right. So back to pattern step number 9, apply the interfacing to the under collar section. Did that. Stitch center back seam of under collar sections. See, I told you you had to do that first before you put it on. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch the center back. Go ahead and pin that together. And then using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, back stitch at the beginning and at the end, sew across and press the seams open. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so let me move the sewing machine towards me. And I'm gonna back stitch at the beginning and at the end. What did I do with the other pin? Here we go. All right, now my third one, I act all funky with me today. Who's sewing this weekend or tonight? Who's sewing something? I feel like I haven't been in the sewing room sewing anything since I was on vacation last week. I feel like it's been a hot minute since I sewn something. Or touched some fabric, touched some patterns. I feel like it's been a minute. But I have some projects I need to finish, so we're in here this weekend, next week, to finish up some stuff. All right, so I have it, the center back seams sewn together. I'm gonna go ahead and press it open and then attach the front to the jacket. So let me go ahead and press the center back seams open. All right, so now that I have it pressed open. Oh, did my daughter pass through here? Yeah, she probably was sharpening her pencils since she's doing some drawing of some clothes that she wants somebody to sew for her, but she finally decided that she wants to learn how to sew. We'll see. We'll see. That's all I'm gonna say, y'all. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so now that we have that together, the next thing that we're going to do is attach the front. You have a notch there. That lines up with the notch that's right here at the front. So there's a notch. Let me cut into that notch right there. And there's one on the other side too. Make sure that that notch is all right. So with the right sides together, I'm going to make sure that I align those, and those dots, the dots will match up right there too. Okay. So just make sure that the dots are matching up. All right. And then you're going to pin. I don't like how this, hold on, because this back is not matching up really good. And then you're going to do the same thing to the other side, but there's a but to this. Okay. Oh yeah, it does match. Okay. All right. So, and then what they want you to do is stitch across. The other dot is right here, but that doesn't seem like it match. Hold up. Because it shows these two dots right here, but there's a notch right here. So that can't be right. I know I didn't miss it. There's a dot and there's a dot. Unless that's the notch right there. I'm thinking something, you guys. Because I don't want to put it on wrong. There's another notch. Okay, so this is the back. There's a notch. Where's the notch? There's a notch there. Okay. Yes, it's where the notch is. Okay, I was right. All right, so you're going to pin where the notch is. I was reading a part. I'm sorry, you guys. All right, so you're going to pin that notch area, and then you're going to pin at that dot. Let me unpin this part. And then you're going to pin, make sure that where that dot is, that's matched up, and match all the way across to where that other dot is. Right there. All right. And you're going to pin where the other dot is. And then you're going to stitch across from dot to dot, just from dot to dot, nothing else. All right. And you're going to be using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, dot to dot. That's it. All right. And then you're going to do the other side the same way. So let's go ahead and do that now. Yeah, I know it got convoluted and confusing, but I wanted to make sure that I seen the notch. All right. So move that out the way. All right. All right. Go from dot to dot. Back stitch at the first dot. And sew across. And back stitch at the other dot. Now I'm going to do the other side the exact same way. So I'm going to take this side, find that notch, and pin. Pin at the dot. It's easier when it's on the table. And pin. And then find the other dot right here and pin. And then stitch across from dot to dot, making sure that there's no puckers or anything below. Underneath, put my needle right at that dot. Back stitch at the beginning. All right, let's fix this thread again. All right, so I fixed that. So now I'm going to start at that dot. Take this pin out. All right. And back stitch. Make sure it's flat. And back stitch at the dot. All right, so I have the front Oops, I'll show you over here at the table. All right, so I have the front on, as you can see, right here, right here. I'll clean it up here in a second. So you see that I have the front on, and this is left loose for just just a second, okay? Now, what they want you to do is press the seams open. So right here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to my ironing board and press the seams open on both sides. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And after I press the seam open, um, I'm going to clip a little bit on the back neck area. All right. To prep it in order to do the dart. That's what it is, the dart. All right, so let me go ahead and do that now. All right, so now that I did that, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a couple of clips in my neck. Not many, simply because don't need all of that. All right, I made a couple of clips at the neck area. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make my dart. So we have done darts so many times on this channel. You can see that I have a dart right here, and you're gonna do the same thing that you normally do, pinch out your dart. So you're just going to, I'm gonna turn it this way because it's just easier that way. And you're gonna do like you would normally make a dart. Look and see if it's lining up on the opposite side. And then all you have to do is just basically play around with it until the pin comes out on both sides. And it does on this side. And then I'm going to put one more pin just to make sure that it's even on both sides. All right. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to turn it back over to do this part. But what I'm going to do, because I'm going to start in the center and go to one side and then start back in the center and go to the other side to do my darts. So I'm going to pin the center here. All right. And then I'm going to make sure that the dots match up to the shoulder seams on both sides. So because this dart is going to be going this way at the end, I want to make sure that this is matched up to the shoulder seams right here, that dot. And I'm going to pin. Because this is one continuous seam from the center all the way down, and you're not going to backstitch at the end of that dart. You're just going to tie it off. And I'm going to put a couple of more pins right here. All right, now I'm going to flip it over, and you're going to do your dart the same way like you did the other side. I'm going to pinch out my dart first on this side. And make sure when you do your dart, this part is still pressed open when you sew it. All right, and then I'm going to pen the rest of the color, the undercolor, on. Making sure that the dot match up with the shoulder seam. All right, so now that I have it pinned, I am on step number 9. So what I'm going to do is, starting in the center back, using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance and a regular length stitch, I'm going to start in the start in a center back stitch at the beginning, so all the way down to this dart. When I get to the end of the dart, I am not going to back stitch. I'm just going to sew all the way down to the, so basically you're going to use 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. When you start getting to the dart area, you're going to follow the line of your dart. Just stitch on the line. When you get to, you're going to basically sew off to nothing, right? When you get to the end of the dart, do not back stitch. Just pull enough thread for you to tie off 2 to 3 times, and that's it. Then you're going to flip it over, okay? And then starting right back at the center back, same thing. Back stitch at the center back, starting at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. Then once you start getting towards your dart, you're going to follow that line of your dart until you get to pretty much nothing. And then you're going to pull and tie it off 2 to 3 times. All right, let me go ahead and do that now. All right, let's go ahead and get this done. All right, thank you so much. Woo, Donzel. It is looking really good so far. Move this iron a little bit so I don't knock it down. And I am excited to make this one in the real fabric, which is going to be that poplin green, like I did for the pants to make a whole suit. I'm excited to actually do it in that green too. So, but of course it's going to be done a lot faster when you make it the first time. It's just kind of like testing it. The second time is perfecting it. So you get all the kinks and kinks out the first time around, you know, making notes of what you could do better or any type of issues you may have had, if you had any. Make those notes on your pattern. Or if you do not write on your pattern like I do, make those notes in your notebook, piece of paper, whatever you do. But I make my notes on my pattern instructions. Ouch. Woo. That pen almost got you, girl. All right, so now I'm starting to get to my dart area. I'm going to start going slowly. Follow the line of my dart. Not completely turtle slow, but slow enough so I'm following the line of my dart. And I can control the speed. All right, so I'm getting down to the end of the dart. Instead of me back stitching, I'm gonna lift up my presser foot and pull enough thread that I could have enough thread to tie off. All right, so that's enough thread for me to tie. And I'm gonna tie 2 or 3 times. I normally do 3 for safe measures. I don't want mine to be coming off. But if you want to just do 2, that's completely up to you. I'm going to cut. I'll throw the trash away here in a second. Now I'm going to start back, turn it over, and I'm going to start back at the center back and do the same thing on going the other direction. Line back up at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. And now I'm going in the opposite direction. Making sure that there's no puckers at the bottom, underneath. All right, so I'm approaching the dart. I'm going to slow down just a little bit and follow the line. I got to the end, pull some threads. Enough that I could tie. That's enough. And I'm going to tie like 3 times. All right, so that's 3. All right, so now I'm going to show you what it looks like at the table. Let's go back to the table. All right, so let me show you what it looks like. Oh. All right, so this is what it's looking like so far. All right. It's lined, ooh, knocking stuff over. That's not good. All right, so we have the under collar on right now. All right, so we went ahead and did our darts. We put on our under collar. We did all of those good things. So I think that was step number 8 or 9. Let me grab the instructions. That was number 9. All right. Actually, we did number 9 and number 10. Yeah, number 9 and number 10 are the two things we did. Now, what they wanted you to do in number 10 is to go ahead and clip and press it open. If you need to clip, go ahead. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and press this seam open. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then after I do that, I'm going to start constructing the sleeve. So let me go ahead and press that seam open and then put this aside for a second. Now, I advise you to use your seam roll because this is going to be a jacket that has lining, and you definitely want to get in the habit of using your seam roll when you're doing a jacket or a coat or a blazer or anything like that, instead of just pressing it flat. All right. So I'm going to show you what it looks like, and then I'm going to move it off. Ooh, I'm going to move it off to the side. All right. So that's what it looks like. All right. So now I'm going to move this off to the side, and I'm going to start constructing my sleeve. So go ahead and grab pattern piece number 11 and 12. So I'm just going to put this back on my dress form. All right, so I have pattern piece number 11 and pattern piece number 12. And now it's time to start constructing the sleeve. Now I already have one constructed, and I'll share that with you here shortly. Well, I kind of already showed you one already done, which is this one, and that's what I'm getting ready to do now. It's not as difficult as it may seem. Hey, Millie. All right, so now this is where I'm going to give you guys some tips. Let's talk tips before we get to sewing this together. First things first, mark all your dots. It plays a big key in this step, all right? So let's start with pattern piece number 11 first. Mark your dots at the top of your sleeve cap, all right? Mark your dots right here on your extension. You have a dot here, a dot near your fold line, and then a dot towards your, these two dots right here. Now, another trick I'm going to tell you is this is where your tracing wheel comes in. All right, now I'm going to bring it as close to the camera as possible. All right, now if you can see, let me turn it this way. If you can see on the pattern piece, you see where it says fold line? What I did to get it to trace to my fabric, to mark the line straight, I used my tracing wheel and marked this like this, and then traced it with my white chalk. And I'm going to show you that here. Then there's another line from dot to dot. I traced that, okay, with my tracing wheel. And then use my ruler and transfer the marking. Buttonholes, same thing, all right? So I'm going to show you that here shortly. Now, on the pattern piece number 12, the undersleeve, mark your dots, all right? So you should have 4 dots, all right? Same thing, all right? Now, I'm going to show you why I say that. All right, so this is, oh, and another thing, mark undersleeve and upper sleeve. It's going to make a big difference if you are following along with the instruction. All right. All right, so I'm going to move pattern piece 11 and 12 out of the way. All right. Now, as you can see, I'm going to bring it up to the screen. What I mean when I say that I use my white chalk to mark out here, here, and the buttonholes. All right. As you can see. All right. Now, another thing, it says it in the instructions, but I'm going to tell you guys this now. All right. You're going to need to put interfacing on the extension of both your undersleeve and your upper sleeve. All right. I think in the instructions it says 1.5 inch wide. You're going to need 1.5 inch wide for the extension on both the undersleeve and the upper sleeve. So make sure that you have an 1.5 inch wide. I don't remember the length from top to bottom. I think it was 5 inches on the 5 inches high by 1.5 inch wide for the undercollar. I'm sorry, undercollar, undersleeve. So if you've taken notes, 5 inches high by 1.5 inch wide for the undercollar. For the, undersleeve, sorry. For the upper sleeve, you have, it's going to be difficult to tell you. About 2.5 inch high by 1.5 inch wide, but you're going to have to, I'm going to say do 3 inches high by 1.5 inch wide, but then you're going to have to cut some off for that angle. Okay. All right. So I'm going to make that note on mine simply because I'm going to have to cut this again for my main fabric. Now, remind you, I cut a size 18, so it could be a little different if you're doing a different size, but those are the measurements. So I'm just going to write extension, cut out interfacing piece, and then I'm going to write under sleeve. Undersleeve was 5 inches. Yes. 5 inches by 1.5 inch. And then the upper sleeve, 3 inches by 1.5 inch. All right. That's just a note for when I do it again. Do this pattern again. All right. All right. So now that I have that, moving along to these pieces right here in the center. All right, so the first thing you want to do is make a line from the bottom up 1.5 inch. From the bottom up 1.5 inches, okay? On both the undersleeve and the upper sleeve. Then you're going to have a strip of interfacing that is 2 inches high, okay? Now, here's the thing. I know you're wondering, like, Rochelle, why doesn't it not go to the edge? The reason why is simply because it cannot overlap. It says it in the instructions. So, because of that, your seam allowance is 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So, I made sure that I did not have 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So, from the end inward is 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I made sure that 5/8 of an inch seam allowance is taken off. Now this right here, the upper sleeve, this is 7 inches. I'm going to tell you 7 inches by 2 inches is what this strip of fabric on the upper sleeve is 7 inches long by 2 inches high. That's what my strip is. Reason being is because really all the way across, because this cannot overlap at all. It cannot overlap with the extension and it cannot overlap with the seam allowance. So it's 7 inches wide by 2 inches high. for the upper sleeve, which is pattern piece 11. For the undersleeve, same thing. It cannot overlap at the seam allowance either. So it's 5 inches long by 2 inches high. Hi, Alice from Florida. What part of Florida are you in? All right, so now that we have the dimensions of the interfacing on this part, now we can start get to sewing. Now that I explained all of these steps, we can start sewing. All right, so now I'm going to turn this over. Now with right sides together, I think I explained everything. We are on step number 11, okay? Towards the bottom where it says pin upper sleeve to undersleeve at the front edge. That's where we are at, okay? I'm going to turn it this way because the extension is not your front edge. The front edge is this section right here where that curve, all right? So with right sides together, I'm going to pin at my front edge. I'm going to pin the notch. And pin at the bottom. Pin here. And then I'm just going to pin along the front edge. All right, now that I have it pinned using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance and a regular length stitch, I'm going to back stitch at the beginning and at the end. And then press my seam allowance open. Let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stitch using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm going to back stitch at the beginning and at the end as usual. All right. And now that I'm approaching the end, I'm going to go ahead and back stitch. And now I'm going to press my seam allowance open. And I'm going to switch out my pins. All right. So let me go ahead and press my seam allowance open. And of course, with your seam roll, you want to get in the habit of using your seam roll as much as possible when you are doing a blazer, a coat, a jacket. You want to try to use your seam roll. Unlike if you were doing like a shirt or a top or whatever, those type things you could, just press it flat unless you're doing a dart. If you're doing a dart, please, 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 please do not just press it flat because I don't think your boobs are flat, So you don't want to be pressing your darts flat without you press it down, flat, but use your seam roll to do so. All right. Now that I have this pressed nice, okay, and open, okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to reinforce the large dot for both the upper, I should have done this while I was there, for both the upper sleeve and the lower sleeve. So let me grab my white chalk pen. What did I do with it? I just had it. Okay. Have you seen my white chalk pen, Lay? What? Can you what? No, I need the white chalk pen. It probably fell on the floor. It's okay, never mind. No, I need the white one. I have another one. Don't worry, I have it. I have one. I have one. It's probably on the floor. Don't worry about it. I got it. Don't worry about it. I have it. I have one. I have one. I have tons in the drawer. Don't worry about it. I have it. I have it. Don't worry about it. Oh, I found it anyway. It's right next to the rotary cutter. Never mind. Now I have both. All right. All right. So all right. So what I'm gonna do, because y'all know I like. All right. So what you need to do at this dot, you're going to go up a half an inch and over a half an inch. So because I like to be somewhat exact, so I'm going to mark a line a half an inch up from that dot, and then you want to go towards the extension, okay? And then a half an inch from that dot outward, a half an inch. Okay? And then you're going to do the same thing to the other side. So it's where this fold line is. So you're going to go from that dot up a half an inch, and then towards the extension a half an inch. And all you're going to do is stitch on that line down and over, and then you're going to clip from that corner inward without clipping through your stitches. Okay? So let me go ahead and go to the sewing machine and go ahead and do that first. So I'm just going to stitch down. I'm sewing air. No thread. Okay. I'm sewing some air. I'm sewing air. No thread. All right. There we go. It got stuck for a quick second. All right. So I'm going to start sewing down. Keeping my needle down, I'm going to lift my presser foot, turn my fabric, and then go across. And then cut my thread and do the other side the same way. So I'm going to go down. I forgot to. Okay, why are you tripping with me right now? Okay, there we go. My bobbin was tripping with me. Why are you tripping with me today? All right. So I'm going to sew down, keeping my needle down, lift my presser foot and turn my fabric. And then sew across. All right. And then all done there. Did I run? Yep, I run out of bobbin, that's why. All right. Now what I'm gonna do is cut in between that corner at the table and thread some bobbin at the same time. Not at the same time, but still. So I need some more bobbin. Ran out of bobbin. That's why I was like, why I keep getting stuck? Ran out of bobbin. Let me thread me some more bobbin. Hey, Layla, could you do me a favor? Get a child to do it. Hey, could you wind this bobbin up for me right quick? How? Oh, you came running. Kit, you came running. I thought Layla was coming to run.
I said...
Could you do it for me?
Think so?
Yeah, all you have to do is push the presser foot. Hold on, let me start it for you. Hold on. No. Hold on. Hold on. Press it. Hold on, stop for a second. Oh, now you can press it. Keep pressing. All right, while the kid is doing that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is clip into this corner. No, you're not done. They ain't gonna tell me to hold on. That's a kid for you. All right, so now what you're going to do is clip into the corner. So what I'm gonna do is clip into the corner here. But make sure you do not clip through the stitching on both sides. All right. And then, what?
I think it's basically...
Yeah, I think you, hold on, stop. No. No, it's not all the way done.
Can I?
Hold on, nope, It's not all the way done.
I want to do that part.
Then hold this part, hold this with your hand right here. Hold this with your hand. Now put your foot on it. It'll stop when it's done. You gotta push it down with your foot. Hold it up right here with your hand. Right there. Thank you. Back to what I was doing. Okay. I just finished clipping it to the corner. Okay, yeah, that's what I did. All right. So now, after I clip into the corner, the next thing I want to do is I want to get this corner right here done. So you guys remember where I showed you about this line right here? That's 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go from dot to dot. I'm going to fold it dot to dot, right? And I'm going to sew 1/4 of an inch. Now remind you, I'm going to open it up one more time. There is a line right here that you can see. That is 1/4 of an inch away from that edge. So you're going to go from dot to dot. You're going to fold it onto itself. And you're going to sew across 1/4 of an inch. All right, so I'm going to put a pin there. It should be done, Dom.
Looks like
Yeah, it's done. It's done. Thank you.
you're welcome.
All right, see you later, buddy.
Okay.
All right, so now I'm going to back stitch at the beginning and at the end and sew 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. All right, so let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so let me get my bobbin, thanks to my son for helping his mama out. All right, what did he do here? I don't know how he had this thread going on, but yeah, he got something going on. What in the world? There we go. He had a knot. In my good thread? He tried. That's all that matters. There we go. All right, now the bobbin is together. The needle is now. No, it's not. Trying to play me. There we go. All right, let me sew the 1/4 of an inch seam allowance because it was acting weird and crazy with me. All right. All right, so using a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, I'm gonna sew that corner. I'm going to back stitch at the beginning. Hold up. I didn't like how that sounded. The bobbin winder is still on. All right, 1/4 of an inch. And then back stitch at the end. All right, let's go to the table. All right, so now that I have that done, I'm gonna clip my loose threads. All right. Now I'll show you what that looks like. All right. That's what it looks like. All right, now we're gonna press up. All right, so now you have that corner right here, done. Where you're supposed to stitch that. So now, before you press it in, now it's weird, but they want you to press this open. So I'm going to try to attempt to press this open and then turn it to the inside. Okay. Hey, Christy. All right. Now, after I press this open right here, I'm going to go ahead and press up my hem. All right, so I'm going to do both of that now. So what I'm going to do at the ironing station, I'm going to press this open. All right. Then on this is the upper. Is this the upper? Yeah, that's the upper. So on the under sleeve, all right, not the upper, the under sleeve, I'm going to press in 1/4 of an inch, okay, on the under sleeve, all right, and then I'm going to press up, okay, 1/4 of an inch on the under sleeve, and then I'm going to press up the hem. The hem is 1.5 inches, but basically I'm going to make sure that it's pressed up to that interfacing line, okay? So let me go ahead to the ironing station and do that now. All right. What's up, boy? You just in here keeping me company? All right, so I'm going to press this open. And that 1/4 of an inch, you guys, it is difficult to press it open, but just do the best that you can. That's all you can do, because it's not much to press open. And I'm using my fingers to try to get it pressed open, you guys, before using an iron. And it's difficult to even try to open it with your fingers. Okay, I got it. I got it. Pressed open with my fingers. Woo. All right. Press it open with my fingers. Now I'm pressing it with the iron. And if you can't get it pressed open with your fingers in the iron, I'm going to go say don't worry about it, because it's not much. I don't know what's the whole point of that, but hey, it's probably because of the lining. That's what I'm going to say. That's probably what it's for, but do the best that you can. All right, so on the under sleeve, I am pressing in 1/4 of an inch, as it states in the instructions. I'm just saving you the time of doing it later in the instructions. If you look at the instructions is in the chat. So if you scroll up, you can see that I typed in the instructions for you to follow along. If you want to follow along in the instructions, you could pull that up too. All right, so now I'm pressing up the hem, which is 1.5 inches. So I'm pressing up the hem at the bottom all the way across, and I'm going to give that a good press all the way across. All right. This is what it's looking like right now. Ha ha ha, not so bad, right? Donzel said hello to you, Dom Dom.
Hello.
He said hello. All right. Now, the next step is we're going to attach the back, right sides together. So, with right sides together, I'm going to attach the back. All right, so now I'm going to grab my pins. And I'm going to match up the notches, pin there, and pin at the top. And pin all the way down. Now, one thing I want to mention is you have a dot. Make sure you have the dots matching at the bottom. It is very critical that you have those dots matching up because that's where you're going to stop sewing, okay? And what I'm going to do on this sleeve is start at the bottom and sew all the way up instead of the opposite way. Yes, so this sleeve is a different way of installing versus your regular way of sewing the sleeve milling. And it's funny because I have done this sleeve way before on Butterick 7012, which frustrated the heck out of me. And I tossed that jacket in the trash because it was the first time I did this sleeve. The lining is what screwed me up. And even though the lining was successfully done, it's just the lining was super silky and it just wasn't, it was executed well and good. It's just I didn't like the lining for the fabric that I used. I should have just used a different lining. So that's why I did not showcase it on the channel. That's it. All right, so now that I have it pinned using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance and a regular length stitch, I'm going to start at the dot right here. I'm going to back stitch at the beginning and sew all the way up and back stitch at the end. All right, so let's go ahead and do that now. All right, so using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, starting at that dot, I'm going to put my needle right there at the dot. Don't go past it. Please don't, because you will have some issues if you go past it. Start at that dot, nowhere else. And I don't have any thread. I'm threading air. I'm sewing air. What did I do with the thread? Oh, it's not even threaded. See, this is giving me the blues tonight with this thread, this upper looper thread. It's giving me the blues tonight, like literally. It's having all the problems in the world tonight. And I would just want to know why. Why? Because I just watched Mike not too long ago. You know the movie Mike? It was a good movie. I know I waited, what, 2 months to see it? I didn't get to see it in theaters when it came out. It came out the day after my daughter's birthday. Didn't get to see it in theaters because it was always sold out. Yeah. And when I did want to see it, I'm sorry, I'm not going to the movie theaters to sit all up close to the screen, like this. I'm not doing all of that. I need to be sitting away, you know, back up from the screen. And if I can't get that, I'm not going. I'm not spending all that money at the movie theater to be all up this to the screen. But it was good. I got to enjoy some popcorn and stuff. So it was good. Good movie. I'm waiting on part 2. I'm just waiting on the part 2. So, all right, using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, I'm going to start at that dot. And sew all the way up. And oh, another thing, if you need to ease in that sleeve, by all means do so. Some people may need to, some people may not. It just depends on the size of your sleeve and the fabric you use. Make sure you back stitch at the end. All right. So this is the sleeve. And now I'm going to press the seam allowance open. Middle front. Okay. I got you. So I don't sit all the way in the back, Christy. When I go to the movie theater, I don't sit all the way in the back, but I sit in the middle. Not too close to the screen, but not too far back either, to where I got to deal with everybody playing with their phones in the movie theater too, you know? I'm like, are you there for the movie or are you there to, you know, scroll through Instagram, TikTok? Like, which one are we here for? I mean, it's supposed to be silence your phone, watch the movie.
Literally, and you do the exact opposite of what they told you.
Say, what, kid? And who be doing what?
These people be doing the exact opposite of what the movie people told them.
Oh, you just telling on everybody. I know. I know what they be doing. I'll be right there like, ugh. Really? Could we please put those phones away? Because your screen is not, you know, the bright screens and stuff. You'd be like, really? For real though?
Get out of my house.
And it be the young kids too. Ugh. If the shoe fit, wear it. Look, guilty dogs will holler. Am I talking about you, kid? Do you do that? Guilty dogs will holler. You come in here running. When I said it'd be the young kids, my daughter come in here hollering. All right, so back to what I was saying. Goodbye.
Can I
Goodbye.
get 5 pattern weights?
No, not right now. I'm in the middle of something. All right, so done with the sleeves. All right. All right, we are now on, I don't even know what number we're on. I just kind of did everything because I already did one sleeve, so I'm doing the other. All right, oh, I need to put the basting stitches around the sleeve cap. So let me do that at the upper sleeve. And then the only thing that's left is to set the sleeve into the jacket. And then that's it for tonight. Yeah. So let me go ahead and create the basting stitches on the sleeve cap. All right. So what I normally do here is I normally do the first one at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance and the second stitch at a 1/2 inch. Reason being is because it's 5/8 of an inch seam allowance and I'm not going to be pulling basting stitches out. So I don't do at 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. I do a little less than that to not have to do pull basting stitch out later. Now, I normally create gathering stitches from notch to notch instead of from dot to dot. I know some people do dot to dot, but I like to do from notch to notch. So, how I normally do it, I'm going to turn it right side out. And I start at the single notch, wherever it is, right here. And I go all the way to the double notch. So I'm going to back stitch at the single dot. Let me first switch to a basting stitch, which is the longest stitch on my machine, which is going to be 5.0. And I'm going to do a 1/2 inch on the first one. And I'm going to back stitch. And I'm going to go all the way around using a 1/2 inch first. All the way until I get to the double notch. And be careful to still make sure that you have the seam allowance still pressed open. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I maneuver slowly around the areas that are pressed open. All right, make sure I have enough thread to create gathering stitches, and then go back over it using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance now. Or you can use a quarter, whichever one suits your fancy. But I just feel like 3/8 suits my fancy. Okay. So I'm going to do 3/8 on the next one. And go all the way around. She's done right here on this one. And then I'm going to, I did not do the other sleeves before. So I'm going to do the other sleeve the same way, because I'm going to put it in the other one. So Christy, let me tell you, I'm a matinee type girl. I need to go before 4 o'clock because I just feel like all the all the teenagers or the before 25 people are out after 4. I'm not about that life. Simply because they're the type of people that you want to say something to, but you already know that that's going to be bad because you know. Because you can't say nothing to these 20-something-year-old people now. You can't say nothing. They be wanting to shoot you. It ain't like, back in the, 70s, 80s, wherever you act a fool at, people will fix you right then and there. Tell your parents later. You can't do that now with these kids. Let alone you can't chastise them. You chastise them in public, the cops go come get you. My kids already know. I don't care about the cops telling me nothing. All I gotta do is just give them the face. You better not go in the store and act a fool. It's called the bathroom. Come on, let's go to the bathroom real quick. But my kids don't act a fool in public places. They, No, we don't do that. I get people always say, your kids are so well behaved. And in my head, I'm like, they better be. Because we not going to do that embarrassment crap like some kids be doing to their parents. Oh, no. When I see kids be talking back to their parents in public, I just shake my head and I tell them, I be looking at my daughter like, no home training. I said, I came from the old school where you go find you a switch and your parents be like, go find a switch, and you go find the skinniest switch and you think that switch is not going to hurt you. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. That switch hurt. Or the punishment of wait all night. Like, yo, you told me to go get the switch. I've been, I'm waiting. Oh, I ain't ready to whoop you right now. What you waiting on? You think you escaped the whooping and you've been waiting all day for this whooping. They wait until you get ready to go to bed and be like, oh, you thought I forgot. Like, really? You thought I forgot. I'm like, man, that was this morning. We then went through breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you still talking about whooping somebody? Man, get out of town with that. But back in the 80s and 90s, grandparents and parents used to do that crap. And then you get whooped with whatever they find. Whatever they find. It ain't like that now. A shoe, an extension cord, a spoon, a belt, anything. Now it ain't like that. Yes, a belt. A belt. My son over here talking about who hit people with a spoon. Yeah. That was way before y'all's time. Y'all don't even know nothing about no spoons and switches and stuff. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Because I don't have to do all of that. All right, so I have both of the sleeve caps done. So now what I'm going to do is ease these onto the jacket. So let me grab the jacket. Well, first let me put it. That's what the first thing I need to be doing. So you guys can see. All right, let's grab this jacket. Okay. Yeah, pick that switch. Go out there and pick that switch off the street. Go ahead and get you one. Get you one. Or how about you go find you a switch and you're like, this one's going to be a good one. And they go, you tried to play me, huh? I'm going to go find one. You're like, then what's the point of me going to find one if you was going to do that? Wasting my time. Exactly. What was the point? Tell me what was the point, kid. All right, so I am going to ease this. So I'm going to take my easing thread. If I could get two of them, that's going to work. All right, so I'll take my easing thread. And I'm going to ease. It's tangled right here, so I want to make sure that I have two threads right here. There we go. And you want to pull the gathers. I want to make sure that it's not bunched up. There we go. Or pull from the inside. I'll pull from the inside then. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Okay. and all the way out the frame. All right, so now just gonna pull this. Now I don't want to create too much gathers. But we want to create enough gathers to get it all the way around the sleeve cap. I don't want it all the way bunched up, but we want to create enough gathers. Yeah, that keep each other out of trouble. And then you get in a fight with your siblings because they was the one who caused you to get a butt whooping. I have too many siblings, so we stayed in trouble. We stayed in trouble. One in trouble, everyone in trouble. All right. So now that this is the front, this is the side seam. All right, this one must be the sleeve for this one. All right. This is the, I gotta see which one is the what goes where. Okay, so this is the, I gotta make sure. Let's see if this is the right sleeve. Yes, okay. This is the back, and this is the front. Yep. All right, so I'm going to pin at the front first, the front notch. Then I'm going to pin at the back notch. Okay. And then I use this center notch right here to pin at the center. Okay. And then what I do is adjust the gathers after that. All right. So I start at the single notch, adjust the gathers there. And then pin where I need to. Adjust and pin. Just what you need. And pin. Now, adjust the other side. Now let me put some pin at the bottom right quick. And then put one more right here. I'll put one more right there. Now I'm going to adjust this area right here to ease onto this sleeve. Or arm's eye, whichever way you want to call it. And then pin here. And then pin here. All right, now I'm going to go to the sewing machine and using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, back stitch at the beginning and at the end, and sew all the way around the arm's eye area to sew the sleeve on. All right, hold on, let me pin this right quick. Hold up. I don't want this to be bunched up, so make sure that it's not bunched up right here. There. Where's the other pin that I just had? There we go. All right, so using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, I'm going to sew all the way around, back stitch at the beginning and at the end. All right, so let me go ahead and do that. All right, we're getting one sleeve sewn on. I'm going to start at the underarm seam. All right, so I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to make sure I switch back to a regular length stitch. And starting right here. All right. All right. Ooh. There we go. Gotta slow around these sleeves, otherwise you'll be getting puckers. And you don't want that. Make sure everything is flat underneath. Don't try to be in a rush or anything. And I'm coming back to the beginning and back stitch and break your thread. And you should have one sleeve onto your blazer, just like that. Just like that. And then you would do the other side the same way. All right. So I would put the sleeve onto the other one too. So let me cut my threads, my loose threads on this one. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to try it on to make sure that the sleeves are not tight or anything like that. And just check the structure so far, because pretty much the next thing is the lining and the facing. So I'm going to do the other sleeve too, but here shortly. All right, so let me show you what this is looking like so far. All right, so I'm going to do the other sleeve so you could get just a idea of what it's going to look like. I like the length of it because you guys know I wear a watch and jewelry, so it's not too short. Love that. I have the option of, and of course I'm going to roll up my sleeves. When I wear blazer, I always roll them up. So it's the lining is going to show. So if you guys remember my lining, let me show you guys my lining. Where's the, here it is. There's a kente print. So it's going to show. Now, remind you, this is a wearable muslin. And it's for my sister, you guys. So it's not even for me. But I might wear it once before I give it to her. So I like the length of it because if don't want to wear it up, can wear it down. The length is good. It's not tight, but it's loose for right now. Don't know what it's going to do once the lining is on. So it's not tight in the hips or anything. So one sleeve is on. I'm going to put the other sleeve in now. And then that's going to be it for tonight. Okay. Now, one thing that I am debating on is oh, there we go. I was like, hold up. Why is this one doing, this side was doing something different. I was like, hold up, wait a minute. All right, so it's looking good so far. So let me put on the other sleeve right quick. All right. So it's looking good so far. All right. Okay. Last thing is this other sleeve. And y'all, that's going to be it for tonight. Not too bad. Not too bad. It does, right? I'm kind of like, I'm a little mad that I'm giving it to her. I kind of don't want to. What do y'all think? I should like keep it for myself, huh? I might keep it for myself and be like, well, sis, you know. She ain't on the live tonight, so she don't know. Yes, this orange is fabulous. And here's the thing, y'all. I cut this orange in this fabric to do a test like 2 years ago. Like 2 years ago. That's what's killing me, y'all. Like, I cut this thing 2 years ago, and I'm surprised that it fits. Like, that's what's shocking the heck out of me. Like, I cut this 2 years ago. That's the only reason why I'm making it, because I was like, well, I cut this 2 years ago to do it as a test fabric. I'm going to use it as a test and see how I like it. If it was difficult before I cut into my green fabric, that's going to be actually the fabric that I'm going to be using for the real deal Holyfield. So like I said, this is to test, see how I like it, how the fit was, and then the green one is going to be perfection. And the green one I am not doing a sew along for or anything. If anyone needs to want to learn how to do this one, they could come back to the live and skip through the live or whatever they want to do. And because sew alongs do take a long time, you know, to do and edit and all that good stuff. So I don't want to repeat the same thing twice. Yeah. All right, so now that I have the sleeve cap pretty much eased, I'm going to now insert this sleeve, same way that I did the last one, match up the double notches and the single notch, same way, no difference than the last sleeve. Pin right here at that double notch, pin that single notch right there. Find your center dot at the sleeve cap and match that up to your shoulder seams. Bounce back with me, let me shoulder lean, let me shoulder lean. All right, match that up to your shoulder seams. And then what you want to do is to adjust your gathers. So I'm going to adjust my gathers right here. Right. And then adjust my gathers right here and pin. This is looking good right here. Pin all the way around here. And pin. Oh, Millie. Millie is funny. Donzel, you funny too. But my sister will understand. Not. You said you was gonna give it to me. I did. I said that, girl. I said that. I got amnesia. That's that old age kicking in. I said that. When did I say that, girl? She'd be like, let me go get the receipts. It's receipt. They give paper receipts. She'll be talking about, let me go find your video when you said that. Knowing her. Let me go back to your life. Right. That part, Christy, that was way before I even started. Once I put it on and it said fitme.com, all of my it was going to you went straight on out the window. It said it looked good on me. It was good for me instead of good for you. You didn't say free shipping. You know what I mean? I gotta ship this to you. Like, what? Girl. Let me wear it a couple of times and then decide to ship it to you, okay? Then she'd be like, girl, you an Indian giver. No, I'm a believer. I believe that I need to wear it first. Get some use out of it and then give it to you. That's what you call add to cart. Let me stop. Let me stop, y'all. Donzel was my big influence. He said, she'll understand. No, she won't. Donzel influenced me to be like, yo, sister, sorry. Sorry next time. Let my husband say it. He'll say, she needs to learn how to sew. Oh, man. All right. Back to sewing, right? Okay. So now that I have it pinned, I am going to go ahead and sew the sleeve on, y'all. Using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, we're going to sew this thing on, and then I'm going to try it on again to see how it looks. It's going to look fabulous, y'all. All right, so I'm going to start at the bottom. Started from the bottom, now I'm here. Using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance, we're going to start at the bottom. And I'm going to sew all the way around, of course. And I'm going to Y'all, so I was listening to Spotify. Tell me if y'all remember the song, right? I was listening to Spotify. And I was listening to like the Aaliyah radio, right? Rest in peace, Aaliyah. Because she was my girl back in the days, right? She's still my girl. But listening to Aaliyah radio, this song came on by KP and Envy, right? Y'all know what song I'm talking about? KP and Envy, y'all know what song I'm talking about? Drop it in the chat. I'll wait. I'll give y'all 2 to 3 minutes before I tell y'all what song I'm talking about. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. So, tell me why. When it came on, I was like, oh, snap. I haven't heard this song in forever. I think I was probably in high school, maybe. Maybe. Was I even in high school? Or going to high school, maybe? I was either going to high school or going to college, one or the other. When this song was out, I'm going to look it up and tell you what year the song came out, right? So I was like, oh, snap. Tell me why I started blasting it in the car. I stopped at work, was still in the car, and one of my coworkers was right next to me. And I was just going. My coworker was right next to me looking at me like this. Didn't even know. I waited until the whole song was done playing. Got out the car. Didn't see my coworker. Went right back. I was coming back from lunch. Went back in, and my coworker said, "You was jamming there. You had a whole jam session by yourself." I was like, "When? You see me?" He said, "You." You would think somebody would feel embarrassed. I didn't. I was having a whole jam session, but I had to wait until the song went off before I went right back to work. Because, yeah, I just had to have a whole jam session. Now I know y'all wondering, what song is she talking about? I'm going to tell y'all right after I get the sleeve. All right, so we got another sleeve on. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, oh, oh. Yep. That sleeve looking good. Let's see. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Let's see. Oh, no. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, Christy. All right. So the song I was talking about was Shorty Swing My Way. Now baby girl in there singing. Yeah, we was just listening to it in the car, I know. Right. Right. Right, Christy? So now you see why I had to sit out in the car and wait until it went off before going back to work. I was just like, oh, he told me that we could do this because a girl like you, I can't resist. Yeah, I had to wait. Got to contact eye to eye because I walked over to him slowly. Yeah, I had to wait. I had to wait. Now y'all can go look it up and play it. Don said, I gotta go listen to that song. Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness. When they did the 50 years of hip hop, y'all. OMG. Yes. All those, man, all the songs. All the songs. And then when you know all the songs, they like, why? Yeah, how you know all these songs? Because this is my era. That's why. But Donzel, you have to play the song. I'm gonna type the song in the chat, the name of the song. All right, so now I'm going to clean up all the loose threads because we are pretty much done. I think the next session is the shoulders, the front facing and the lining. Oh, and now it tells you to put in shoulder pads. As y'all know, I don't like shoulder pads, so I'm going to do a sleeve heading on mine. But let me put, now that both sleeves are in, I'm going to go ahead and try it on for you guys. All right, so I don't even think I ever switched the camera view. Really? Did I even switch the camera view? All right, so she's looking good, shawty, good. Show enough, good enough for me. She looking good, shawty, good. Show enough, good enough for me. She looking good, shawty. So swing it over to me. I've been watching you from across the room. She looking good. Yeah, she looking good. Looks good, baby. Yes. It looks good. I'm happy with it so far. Yes. I can see it coming together. Those buttons gonna be fire. I can see it's coming together, y'all. Coming together. Now, here's the thing. On this, I like the pockets. I don't know if I'm going to like the pockets on the green one when I make the real thing. I don't know. I'm going to wait until I have this one completely done and see if I'm going to actually like it in the green with the pockets. Tell me what y'all think about the pockets. Do you think I should keep the pockets on the green one too? I don't know. I think I like it. I think I will, but I like it so far. All right, I'm gonna put it on my dress form. It's gonna chill out on the dress form for probably about 2 weeks before I do another live. Dominica is over here chilling. All right, she is going to be wearing this blazer for a few weeks until the next live. Small progress. All right, so here we go. Keep the pockets. All right. Everybody say keep the pockets.
No.
All right. Everybody say keep the pockets. Okay. We go keep these pockets. All right. So she go sit back in the corner and mind her business for a couple of weeks. All right, you guys. So let me turn it back around. All right, you guys. Well, you guys, thank you guys so much for hanging with me tonight. It has always been a pleasure of hanging out with you guys, talking with you guys, chilling with you guys, vibing with you guys, sewing with you guys, all of that good stuff. I don't do it very often because y'all know I switched jobs and this job is very demanding and very busy. It's not as busy as the last one, but it is a lot more focused than the last one. It's very fast paced, but I don't have as much downtime as the last job, but it's not micromanaged as the last job, which I love. It's just the drive is what makes me tired each day after work. So I don't typically get in a sewing room as much as I would like, but because I'm starting to, now that it's been about a month since switching jobs, I'm starting to get into a rhythm and a pace of sewing. So that's why you guys have not been seeing a lot of videos posting from me. Like, you guys have not seen nothing this week. I think you guys only seen one video last week. So I'm getting into a rhythm of how I'm going to start structuring my videos. And I should have something solidified by the end of this month, going into next month on videos. But that's it. Yeah, it was fun. So I'm thinking of doing lives towards the end of the month, each month. Probably starting next month. But I want to finish this blazer first before I start doing once a month lives. So I'm thinking of probably doing part 3 of this blazer in the next 2 weeks. I think that would be the 24th of July. Yeah, I think that's when the next, either the 24th or the first week in August. I'll let you guys know. But I think it's going to be the 24th. If not the 24th, the 31st. One or the other for part 3. And part 3 is going to be the lining. I'm sorry. It's going to be the shoulder, front facing, and the lining. And if I have time, the upper collar for the next session. And then the last, it may be a 5-part session because I don't want to put too many things in one session. I want to keep the sessions 1.5 hours to 2 hours max versus 3 to 4 hours, trying to get so much stuff done in one. I think right at about 1.5 hours, 2 hours is like the perfect time to have enough in one session versus so many things in one session. All right. Well, you guys, that's it for tonight. Join me in the next one as I construct more of this jacket or this blazer. It's coming out really good. So yeah, until next time, y'all already know what I'm going to say. Keep going, keep sewing, and definitely keep growing. Talk to y'all in the next one. Peace.
They hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly, I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, yeah. I had to elevate. I'm way up, way too fly, yeah, I'm feeling myself. Ain't no chance I'm coming down, no. Got a soul view to myself, yeah. Why would I give it up? Why do they wanna come take my place? I work too hard for it, don't need a replacement. This my vocation, now I got rollies, all in rotation. Hop on a jet just to take a vacation. Remember the moments was trapped in the basement. Now the hard work is all taking me places. Squatting all black like we trapped in the matrix. Bet on myself and go ball out in Vegas. Living a life like I'm rich and I'm famous. Don't see the grind that I know that it came with, oh. I ain't make it this far for myself, yeah. I had to prove to everybody else, I had to set them straight, yeah. I had to ball, so I had to renovate, I know. They hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah, I had to elevate. Ooh, yeah, why they wanna put me down? So much drip, yeah, I almost drowned in it. I can't come it down, yeah, I'm way too fired up. I can't slow down. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I see the flashing lights, make sure the fashion right, yeah. I'm in my bag tonight, yeah. Ooh, I might just pull up a foreign. Watch out, the engine is roaring. It's too loud, you can ignore it. Yeah, yeah. This the highlights for the view. You get to have it all, no need to choose. First, let me demonstrate how you can rise to the top. Yeah, I had to elevate, 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 elevate. They hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. Yeah, they hate when you elevate, elevate, elevate. They hate when you elevate. Yeah, I had to elevate.
They hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out, yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment, I swear I could levitate.